to kick off the quarterfinals. You've got Cortez and Wilson in the backcourt para sa Meralco Bulls. Hugnatan in the middle, West and Cliff Hodge at the forwards. Ito naman si Weinstein and Makapagalang nasa backcourt para dito sa Barako na nasa kanilang unang possession. Penisi is their center. Mike Singletary, the hardworking import, and JC, the rocket intal at one forward. Weinstein's pass goes to Makapagal. Jumper. He hits that. And ano mo, magandang senyalis yan para kay Coach Raiko Toroman sapagkat unang pukol pa lang ni Makapagal, he hits it, and this guy is a streak shooter. He can get on one of those crazy streaks and hit from everywhere.
Well, he actually took that shot with a lot of confidence. It's actually evident with the way he released the ball.
John Wilson, isa pang magandang contribution so far para kay Coach Ryan Gregorio sa konferensyang ito, and immediately he shows what he can do, driving to the basket, may chance para maka 3-point play. And you know, if you looked at this lineup of Meralco Bulls before the tournament started, you would have said, okay, this guy will be a contributor off the bench. But he's been starting, he's been scoring in double digits, tapos ang lakas mo mag-rebound for a guard.
You know, maganda yung pagkakapasok niya, and big-time recruit na ni Coach Ryan Gregorio during the season. Malaking bagay itong si actually John Wilson playing very well even from the outside. Nadadagdagan ng outside artillery ng Meralco Bulls.
Ito si Weinstein thrust into the starting spot at the point. And sabi nga niya, he admitted it before the last ball game nitong Barako. Such huge shoes to fill dahil nga ang ganda ng laro ni Eman Monfort. And Weinstein was in fact the second backup. Diba? Si Lino Cruz was there also. Nagpapalitan sila backing up Eman Monfort. But now they're thrust into a situation na kailangan nila mag-produce and to lead the charge para sa Barako Bull, orchestrate the offense. And yun na nga, the challenge for Weinstein is to be able to be effective.
Yes, and of course, you know, Weinstein doesn't really have to be pressured in scoring all the points that Eman Monfort had done. Alam mo, pwede naman manggaling yung tulong ni Weinstein on defense. Diba, ma-pressure yung defense, makakuha siya ng ilang couple of steals, setting up his teammates. There are a lot of other things that every point guard can do, and that's what I call stepping up. And this is his opportunity that can actually propel him to start the game.
Cliff Hodge natawagan ng kanyang unang personal foul contrary to kay Mike Singletary. We'll watch the number of fouls that this guy gets. There's some people that we want to know yung progress ng fouls nila sapagkat importante sila para sa kanilang mga kupunan. The drive by Intal, he hangs in the air. Wala yan, gets it right back and puts it in on the second opportunity.
That's another guy, Charlie, who I'm really expecting to play big for Barako. I've covered a lot of Barako games, and itong si JC, and thought he would have some shades of brilliance, but knowing JC kung how explosive he can get, this is actually his chance to be one of the the pillars of Barako.
But he loses the ball dun sa kanyang defensive rebound attempt. So ang bola nasa Meralco Bulls pa rin, fresh 24 para sa kanila. Mario West. Ito si John Wilson. He makes his move once again. Wants to drive to the basket. Gusto yata niya pa 3-point play na lang Ayaw niya ng dos lang, partner, dahil pangalawang chance na niya makakuha ng 3-point opportunity from the line.
Well, John Wilson, pinag-uusapan na nga natin how important this player is for Meralco. Ginagamit talaga siya ni Coach Ryan because he's been very effective. He's been actually contributing big para sa cause ng Meralco.
6 of the 8 points ng Meralco Bulls kay John Wilson yan on double 3-point plays. Intal swings it over to Makapagal. Siya una nakapukol dito para sa Barako. Wants to get another one. Nothing there on the 3. Rebound, Cliff Hodge. He's averaging more than 8 rebounds a ball game. Mario West on the run. He likes it that way. He bobbled ngayon. Nakatrap siya dyan sa corner. Naghanap ng kakampi. And, Weinstein taps it out right in front of the Barako bench. 14 seconds sa shot clock ng Bolts. Here's Cortez. This is his 4th game with this new ball club. Takes the jumper, bounces out. Singletary with that rebound. Weinstein finds himself open. Tumira. Wide left ang tira, and then itong si Penisi taps it over to Makapagal, pero he double dribbles right in front of the official. So natawagan ng dribbling violation si Mac.
Key turnovers yung mga ganyan. They have to limit Barako has to limit their turnovers and extra possessions because itong Meralco would actually force you into committing a turnover because of their splendid defense.
And defense is really what Coach Ryan Gregorio has been preaching. trying to get his entire team on the same page as far as defensive assignments are concerned.
And plus, this is playoff basketball, Charlie. We expect the defense to be a one-notch higher for all teams.
Back-to-back turnovers para kay Mark Macapagal after a dribbling violation a while ago. Ngayon, offensive foul naman ang tinawag kontra sa kanya. So, Meralco with a chance to add up on this 4-point lead. 8-4 on the score. 8-13 remaining. First quarter pa lang po tayo on this PBA Face-Off Wednesday. Quarterfinals version naman ito. And John Wilson, siya naman ang nag-offensive foul warding off.
Well, Macapagal actually baited John Wilson for that offensive foul. Kinukulit niya. He was trying to reach in for that basketball when he felt the elbow to protecting that basketball. Doon kagad kinuha niya, but this is actually on the opposite end. Dito naman nakabawi si Macapagal.
For that. And Mick Pinisi, nice pass inside the curl and he lays it up once again. And you know, we paulit-ulit natin sinasabi sa konferensyang to, Eric, Mick Pinisi getting a lot of his points in the shaded area in this Governor's Cup. Contrary to what used to happen all the time before na nasa 3-point line lang siya.
Well, he's going to be the tallest player in this ball game, so I really expect Mick to really dominate that low post or at least get the seal under the basket and be more of a threat for Barako.
Bad pass mula kay Mike Cortez. Ball will go to Barako at may chance ang makatablang Barako. Baka lumamang pa kung maka 3-point play sila on this offensive. Intal, back to Weinstein. Pinisi. Diyan siya komportable top the 3-point line. Pero the defense of Ugnatan came. Pass goes to Singletary. Marami pang oras. 10 seconds sa shot clock ng Barako. Singletary makes his move. Ang ganda naman ng dalaw na yun. Eluding the defense, finding a way.
Ang lalim na nun and maganda na rin yung ginawang defensive ni Mario West. You know, something that you can just improve on is really to make sure he doesn't get to that baseline because ang hirap that was actually, he was well covered, but Singletary just simply found a way to get another goal shot.
Twisted his body to find that opening and kiss it off the left. Tabla po tayo, 8 apiece. Pass inside to Ugnatan. He kicks it out to Mario West. An unorthodox 3-point shot! Pasok yan para kay Mario.
Maganda na rin yung ginawa doon ng Barako. Naiwan na lang talaga yung outside shot. So you'd rather give up a lower percentage shot than than a higher percentage shot underneath.
Weinstein picks up his dribble, kicks it to Buenafe. Buenafe, bagong pasok niya sa laro, replacing Macapagal just a while ago. Instant offense para kay Coach Raiko. A 3.
You know, these two guys, itong Macapagal and si Buenafe, these are the guys who would actually lead the charge, especially when they try to slash or go to the basket. Now that these guys have made their first attempt in the game, so tataas na dapat ang kumpiyansa nila.
Mario West ngayon, drumive naman siya. Kicks it out to Cliff Hodge. He's been more comfortable shooting those outside shots, pero wala yung tira na yon. Just past the halfway mark ng ating first quarter. Weinstein to Mick. Mick takes the 3, top of the key. Bounces out. Wilson, isa pang rebound. He's one of those guards na mahilig pumefo sa ilalim to get those defensive rebounds.
Good rebounder, John Wilson. And right now, sino man yung defense or dinidepensa niya, you really have to make him work harder, especially trying to box you up.
Hand off to Buenafe. Tintal naman. 15 seconds sa shot clock ng Barako. JC sizing up the defense. Over to Weinstein. I think it's important, Eric, that Weinstein makes himself a threat in one way or another. Diba? Either passing the ball or scoring it. At dun sa play na yun, ang ganda ng depensa ng Meralco Bulls. John Wilson, who is a underrated defensive player partner.
Good guard, 2 guard, even shooting forward. Even at times, pwede mo rin i-power forward siya because he's actually a very versatile player. Someone who can create mismatches on the floor.
Nakausap ni Risa Diaz kanina yan. Kaya kwento sa atin ni Risa kung anong pinag-usapan nila.
Charlie, wala nang mas excited pa kay Jared Dillinger na makapaglaro muli dito sa PBA. At kahit nga gine-jetlag pa daw siya, ay nakapag-ensayo na siya ng 2 beses kasama ang Meralco Bulls. Ang sabi ni Coach Ryan Gregorio, hindi nila pipilitin si Jared na maging Jared Dillinger ulit. He can take his own time to get back in his own rhythm on his own pace. Dahil yung presence pa nga lang daw ni Jared Dillinger, malaking motivation na at inspirasyon para sa kanila. Charlie and Eric.
Tama yun. I'm not surprised na gano'n ang pananaw nila. But, just being on the lineup is a big thing already para sa kanila.
Well, we've seen that yesterday. Parang kay Ginebra, pinalaro nila si Japet Aguilar. Di ba? Nagsimula siya. He started out for Ginebra. He only played limited minutes. Nakashoot siya ng isang layup. And yes, the effect on Barangay Ginebra, kahit paano, nakatulong pa rin si Japet. And na-strengthen yung magandang start ng Barangay Ginebra yesterday.
Si Ronjay Buenafe nasa linya ngayon. The foul committed by Chris Ross. And Ronjay, who within this season was actually wearing the Meralco Bolts uniform. Na-trade lang siya rito sa Barako. So he's a bit familiar with what these guys in orange want to do. Pero ngayon, he wants to break their defense open.
Well, this guy is capable of scoring in the 20s, even 30s. We've seen him when he was playing for Coach Ian Diao. You know, once you really, he has that green light to shoot. So we really expect a lot more from Ronjay Buenafe.
So si Chris Ross, kapitan ng Meralco Bolts. Now the backup point guard to Mike Cortez. Nathan out to Sunday, taking it from his favorite territory, pero nagmintis ang 3-point attempt. Weinstein, the quick pass to Buenafe. Buenafe wants to challenge. Wilson loses his footing all the way out to the end. Turnover. Barako.
A great defense there by John Wilson. He just was sliding down. Sinisigurado niya na itong si Buenafe nasa harapan niya parate. Binarahan niya yung baseline. Great defense by Wilson.
And Wilson sits down. Mac Cardona, pinasok ni Coach Ryan Gregorio into the lineup. Mario West. A nice spin move on the way up. Wala sa kanya ang bola. Who's gonna get this? Singletary will pick it up. Wanted to go to Villanueva, who kicks it to the side. Ronjay for 3. Offline. Hits nothing but air. Ito si Mac Cardona on the run. You know he loves it. The contact mula kay Weinstein. Pasok pa yung tira. And you know, it seemed like a good idea for Weinstein to commit that foul, pero pinabayaan niyang makatira pa.
Pero, you know, presence of mind by Mac Cardona. There was contact. Ito si Weinstein, he wanted to foul to stop that fast break, but Mac always had the presence of mind. Tumawag ng foul, tinira niya ng maayos yung bola at pumasok pa. 3-point play in the making.
Alam mo, kasi si Mac Cardona, sanay na sanay ang tumira ng off-balance. Di ba? Parang normal sa kanya yung na off-balance doon sa bangga ni Weinstein. Okay lang, in rhythm pa rin yung tira niya.
Alam mo, mahirap yun, Charlie, because even when you practice, you want to be square to the basket. Your shoulders are, you know, nakadiretso dapat yun. Pero itong si Mac talagang all throughout his career has been really working on that shot.
Yun na nga, that's what your coaches tell you, di ba? Yung mga trainer mo. Pero si Mac di yata nakinig sa mga coach. Pero since 30 points a game naman siya, nung bata siya, pinabayaan na lang siya na ganun yung style niya. Drive to the basket, wala. But Rainy Hugnatan right there to tap it back in. And Hugnatan has been the yeoman para dito sa Meralco Bolts this entire conference. Silang dalawa ni Cliff Hodge.
Alam mo, undersized itong si Hugnatan, and yet he plays so much bigger than this height.
Also averaging in double digits itong si Rainy Hugnatan. Almost 10 rebounds as well. On the average para sa kanya. There's a foul on that baseline. Offensive variety ang tinawag against JC Tal. So another turnover partner. We were talking about this. We're gonna watch the turnovers of Barako Bull. They average 6, ha?
Kasi 25 lang naman yung pinili
26 yung pinili.
Nakita mo si Riza, meron pang fan club.
Oo nga. Okay na okay no? Ilang games pa lang ba yan si Riza? May fans club na siya rito. Iba talaga. Pero balikan natin si Jolly Escobar. Back to the game. Ito, Meralco Bolts. Mario West posting up JC Intal. Nice feed over to Hugnatan. He hesitated. At that cost him that shot, but they keep possession itong Meralco Bolts. Up by 5. Gusto pang dagdagan. Niugnatan yan. Contact from Enrico Villanueva. He's talking to his coaches and slow to get up on offense. Ito si Enrico. Celino Cruz naman ngayon susubok at the point, and the pick by Mike Singletary is called an offensive foul. Gumagalaw.
So first personal foul at Mike Singletary. He wanted to set a good screen to free up his teammate. But yun ang alam, kumalaw nga siya, kagaya na sabi ko, Charlie.
So shuffling of lineups here. JC Intal punta sa bench. Pasok si Keith Jensen, another hard-working forward. Okay, Coach Raiko. Chris Ross's jumper from 16 feet. No go at ang ganda ng box out dito si Enrico Villanueva. Singletary, quiet in this game. 2 puntos pa lang para dyan kay Mike. Early in the game, away from the ball. Buenafe and Cardona were going at it. Foul is called on Mac. Ito si Celino Cruz, the veteran. He's had some great games dito sa ating liga. He's been here for some time. Steals it right back. And drives the lane, the handoff to Enrico. Strong move to the hoop.
That's what Enrico Villanueva is known for, to really power himself to the basket. But great pass there by Celino Cruz.
Gustong bawiin agad sana ni Mario F. No go on that play, but Roth tracks it down. Handoff kay Sunday. They're trying to get him free. Hindi siya makalibre. Binilig muna kay Mario West. Mario West. Steps back. Wala pa rin tira. Roth naman. Wide left. Rebound. J.R. Reyes. It rolls out para kay J.R. And finally, the white shirts grab that rebound. What a sorry miss para kay J.R. Reyes.
Sayang, it's actually point blank. But, you know, you have to give it to the white. Yung sila Enrico Villanueva under the basket, he was really going hard for that rebound.
Celino. Tight defense from Meralco. Ang layo ng tira ni Mike Singletary. No chance on that play. The lead pass to Mario West. Ang ganda naman noon. Chance for a three-point play. The home run, the touchdown. Ang ganda nangyari.
You know, presence of mind by Mario West. Ang lapit na yung Singletary sa kanya. He actually lost his balance and fell on the floor. But Mario West just kept his composure and focused on the basket to finish that shot.
Well, the NFL season have started in the United States. Baka nanonood si Chris Roth ng mga games lately because that was a great pass all the way up front for that three-point play opportunity na kinumpleto na ni Mario West. 6-point lead para sa kanyang koponan, 21-15. 38 seconds remaining in the quarter. Buena fe. Tira kunyari, no, from 38 feet eh.
Kumagat sa si Mark.
Ito si Singletary in the lane. He's hardly been inside pero it rolls out na naman para rito kay Michael Singletary. Not a strong scoring quarter para kay Singletary partner. Last second shot time for Barako Bolts. Halos patas na ang game clock sa shot clock natin. Dillinger was supposed to come in. He's there at the official's table pero it looks like he has to wait for quarter number 2 to see his first action here in the third conference. The foul taken by Keith Jensen stops the clock at 4.1. So rinicall na muna si Dillinger ni Coach Ryan Gregorio. Mamaya ka na, second quarter ka na pumasok. So ito si Chris Ross will do the honors. 4.1 to work with for the Orange Men, as Don Aliado likes to call his team. Fading away, Mario West, no go at the end of the first 12 minutes. 6-point lead para sa Meralco Bulls. They started out strong. John Wilson, back-to-back 3-point plays para umpisa ng laro na to. But Buena Fe answered on the other end with a 3 of his own. Mario West, pretty steady as usual. The home run layup gives his team a 6-point lead. The road to the semis started today after one quarter, 21-15, Meralco.
James Sena for Josh Van Landingham and Noah Baclao para naman sa Barako Bolts, or rather para naman sa Barako Bulls, dahil nga alam nilang hindi na makakapaglaro si Eman Monfort for the rest of the conference. Activated na si Jonas Villanueva and they expect him to play probably next week, yan ang sabi. At ganun din itong si Elmer Espiritu nag-aantay na makapasok sa laro na ito. Charlie and Eric.
Thanks a lot for that report, Riza. Of course, that's a risk that you take. You put in Jonas Villanueva, who you think can play next week. That's if you're still alive next week. Because
mabigat yun. Well, wala na kasi. They really couldn't tinker with the lineup. That's why, you know, they really have to wait for Jonas till next week. Pero alam naman natin na Jonas matagal rin hindi yan nakapaglaro. So it's also going to be tough for a player like Jonas Villanueva to be able to get things going for Barako.
Dynamite Daddy nasa laro na. 3 seconds to go. Have to take it. It's the front rim and J.R. Reyes steps on the end line. Trying to back up and make that pass, so the ball will stay dito sa Barako Bull na naghahabol ng 6 points. And, well, Noy Baclao not in the lineup para dito sa Barako, as well as Josh Van Landingham. They'll be watching and cheering their team the rest of the way, no matter, you know, we'll see how long that's going to be. Umaabot na sila sa next round. Hey, Rico! Buena Fe tries to shake off the defender, pero andyan pa rin si Mac Cardona. Foul is called. There's a bump by Mac Cardona. Pangalawa dito si Mac Cardona yan. Celino takes the 3. Quick release. Enrico Villanueva as well throws it up there, pero hindi pumasok. So ito na naman ang Meralco Bulls sa atake. Cardona decides to bring it back out. Dillinger Changes move immediately. Turns around in the lane. Jumper! Ano yan? It's like he never left. Ganun ba yun?
Grabe yung, you have to give it to Jared Dillinger for what he did. Yung pakondisyon niya during the offseason, during the preparation for yung recovery niya from the injury. Yun ang malaking bagay. That's why he was still able to make that shot.
And Danny Siegel bounces it off his foot. Turnover na naman para sa Barako partner. Sabi ko nga sa'yo, turnover watch tayo for the Energy Colas. Pero to si Dillinger, that's a move he always makes and he made it right now. So I don't know how long he can last sa laro. Dahil sabi mo nga, not in game shape siguro. Pero at least he looked pretty
mukhang kondisyon ako.
Diba? Doon sa play na yun, I'm sure matutuwa to si Coach Ryan. And on the drive, sinubukan siya agad. Ryan Buenafe, I'm sure he had that in mind to try to challenge the defensive instincts ito si Jared Dillinger. Foul is committed, but you saw si Dillinger not afraid to challenge.
Challenge siya, umangat din siya sa area, no? na late lang na bahagya yung angat ni Jared Dillinger. Rachel went up for that shot. Coach Frankie Lim, top of the coverage, was discussing with Nico yung he's going to be, okay, condition ka, but are you in game shape? And so far, with the first move to the basket, mukha naman game shape siya, diba? So, we will only know all throughout or the rest of the game, doon natin makikita. But so far, mukhang condition naman siya. It's just that, how long can he sustain this level?
Meralco finished at number 3 in the standings, Eric. At it says a lot about their performance. Tapos dadagdagan mo ba ng isang Jared Dillinger who can do so many things and play multiple positions for you. So let's see how much he can contribute sa game na to. Cardona tries to drive in the lane. Finds some space. Traveling ang tinawag. Ang ganda na sana ng galaw. Pero he dragged the pivot foot.
Well, pero maganda naman makita si Mac Cardona to be really aggressive, especially on the offensive end. And speaking of Jared Dillinger, pag titingnan mo yung lineup nila, parang siya yung nagmumukhang power forward yun They're playing the 4th position because nagtatlong guardia halos ang Meralco, including Mario West.
Buenafe finds some space, wala yan. Rebound ni Jared Dillinger. Siya na rin nagdadala ng bola. Up ahead to Cardona, who stops, sets and shoots from 3, but it doesn't go. Offensive rebound tracked down by Mario West. Hands in the air, contact, walang tawag. Eto na ang Barako going the other way. Naghahabol, 6 points pa rin kanilang hinahabol. Siegel out to Celino. The bounce goes to Jensen. They bring it back out to reset. Ganda naman ang depensa ng Meralco. Nakapag-set up na naman, Eric. Ito si Danny. Danny S on the drive. Jumper wala. Rebound play. Reyes at Jensen. Bakbakan. Left touch. Keith Jensen. Ball goes back to the Bulls. Balik na si Mike Cortez. Parang meron ng point guard para sa Meralco Bulls. Chris Ross was there just a while ago. Dorian Peña as well came in a while ago para dito sa Barako Bull. He'll be the center for the Colas. Dillinger. Nice pass from Jerry Reyes, pero it went under his legs, between his legs. Cortez trying to lose the defense. Maraya, rebound play. Who gets it? Cardona. The hook shot. What else?
Barako has to control that rebound. You cannot give second chances to the Meralco Bulls. Alam mo, gusto ng Meralco Bulls talaga mababa yung score because they're a great defensive team. So far, leading the league after 9 games.
8 points na lamang nitong Meralco. Yung opensa ng Barako looks a bit tentative. Medyo stagnant, di ba? Hindi masyadong fluid ang nangyayari. Serena Cruz getting caught in the shuffle. Out to Buenafe, who have to take a 3 with a second remaining. It doesn't go, and the rebound back to the orange shirts. Dillinger takes a 3. Was online, pero masyadong mahina. Dillinger runs all the way back para mapigil yung fast break attempt ng Barako. It just goes to show you, this guy really wants to help his team immediately, di ba? Yung takbo na yun, imagine you miss on one end and you're the one who breaks it up on the other, Eric.
Yung paglalaro niya dito sa knockout stage or na quarterfinal round, yun ang malaking bagay for Meralco, pero malaking bagay din yan kay Jared Dillinger because he prepared well, to be able to bring his performance one notch higher at the time of the conference.
Singletary misses. Bakan sa rebound, Dillinger at Danny Siegel, and the referee says Danny Siegel touched it last. Wala na naman na nakuha sa opensa. Tingnan natin ito, scrambling for that ball, these two guys. Last touch daw si Danny Siegel, yung left hand niya tumama. Cardona wants to challenge Buenafe. Fades away. Pasok naman para kay Mac Cardona.
Malaking problema to for Barako because Mac Cardona in the past victories ng Meralco Bolts, hindi siya masyadong gumagawa. Ngayon, gumagawa si Mac Cardona, so madadagdagan pa ngayon yung kanilang offensive scoring options.
7 points na para kay Mac Cardona. It's a 10-point lead for this team. Danny Siegel wants to challenge Jared Dillinger. He spins baseline. He lost the defender pero he missed it on the put-back attempt. Natamaan siya ni Dillinger. Pangalawang personal ni Dillinger yon. And Siegel stayed with him. Pangatlong personal pala ni Jared Dillinger. So that's one of the signs that, you know, trying to adjust again to the pushing and the moving here dito sa PBA.
Pakonti-konti pa adjustment for JD. Pero speaking of the offense of Barako Ball, hirap na hirap yung kanilang offense. They couldn't really get a wide open shot. Hindi komportable, maliban lang yung kay Makapagal in the first quarter of play. But other than that, it's all it's always tough. You know, Danny Siegel had a nice layup, pero he still missed that shot. Yung credit that, would still go to the defense of Meralco.
Tapos 1 out of 2 lang ang pinasok ni Danny Siegel mula sa free throw. Ito, Cliff Hodge trying to lose Danny Siegel. Challenges, wala. Offensive rebound. Strong rebound mula kay J.R. Reyes. They go to Mario West. He shuffles. Ang ganda naman ang galaw. Losing the defense partner. Shifty move mula kay Mario.
Well, nabuhol yung paado ni Dorian Peña. He didn't really know what kind of move was that. In and out crossover. Lahat na ginawa doon ni Mario West.
Very deceptive talaga itong si Mario West. But I guess people here dito sa PBA should appreciate already what's going on there with Mario West. Pero ito si Mac Makabagal and Mac Cardona. Some color developing partner. Nakita natin on the way down. Katamaan yan. Si Makabagal holding his jaw kasi he got hit. No call. And then he hit back. Offensive foul ang tinawag.
Well, Makabagal to keep his cool because syempre, okay, natamaan ka ni Cardona, but you cannot react right away because the referees will always be watchful of your reaction to the contact. Ito,
Cardona will challenge the defense. Ito si Makabagal immediately. So they're gonna go at it. Makabagal called for his 4th personal. Remember, naka-offensive foul din niya kanina nung first quarter. So 4 personals para sa kanya. That's gonna make him sit down on the bench, partner. Hindi pwedeng gamitin yan. Baka magka-5-6 yan dito sa first half pa lang.
Tsaka critical yung role ni Makabagal for Barako. He is one of their top leading, or actually their top local scorers na inaasahan na gumawa nga in this ball game. If he loses his composure in the game, in a knockout game like this, we're in. They're supposed to be sila dapat yung with their backs to the on the wall. Mahirap yan pag ganyan ang mangyayari because the more he reacts, the more he's just gonna lose his focus.
This mula sa free throw line si Mac Cardona. We mentioned it earlier. Unang shot ng laro na to was a jump shot from Mac Cardona. He swished it. Rather, Mac Makapagal. And we thought that would put him on a roll. Pero since then, hindi na siya nakakashoot. Puro foul na.
Yun na nga and sayang yan because he has 4 personal fouls. So, ang hirap talaga ng sitwasyon. You really cannot go one-on-one with the defense of Meralco. They're just like sitting there and waiting.
Buenafe was denied. Hodge wanted to bring it all the way. Trying to be the point guard on that play. Weinstein held that ball, but babalikan yung PBA mula dito sa Big Dome. Mike Singletary finding it difficult to score against itong defense ng Meralco. Only 2 points so far. Only 14 attempts so far. May dalawang turnover pa.
The game between Danny Coffey and Meralco. The game was mababa yung scoring because maganda yung depensa ng kabilang koponan. Well, the key reason kung bakit nakabalik yung San Mig Coffee was because piniikot nila yung bola. They really tried to beat that defense of Meralco with that parang like a dribble drive or a penetration and kick. Napaka-importante yun because in this game so far, there's a lot of isolation plays coming from Barako at the top. Basa-basa na ng Meralco. They're just sitting in the shaded area. There's not really much action. That's why when they drive one-on-one, nako, ang dami na kagad tumutulong sa ilalim.
At yun, finally they get a field goal dito sa the second quarter. Their first field goal here, a 3-pointer mula kay Sean Weinstein. Up to that point, they had only scored 3 points from the free throw line. Yan ang unang pukol nila dyan. They really needed that. They were down by 13, rather by 12. Now they're just down by 9. And an offensive foul mula kay Mac Cardona. Babalik ang bola sa Barako Bull. May chance ang paliitin itong lamang ng Meralco Bolts. The offensive foul, Buenafe drew it mula kay Cardona.
nakabawi na rin si Macapagal through his teammate, di ba? Because pinahirapan nga doon ni, actually that was Buenafe drawing that personal foul on Cardona.
Here's Weinstein looking to be more aggressive here. In the second quarter, the switch. Cortez against the much smaller, Siegel rather, against the much smaller Cortez. Pero the help defense from Cliff Hodge with the block, and Mario going all the way to the other side. Follow-up slam attempt from Cliff Hodge doesn't go. Loose ball situation. Foul is committed by John Wilson.
Masyado nararamdaman, Charlie, yung energy coming from Barako. Right now, it seems that mas mataas yung energy level ng Meralco Bolts. And, itong Barako naman, they would always have that feeling of yung sense of urgency. Right now, you need to win to survive. And that's the only way that you can motivate your team to be able to get back.
At dahil nasa penalty na ang Meralco Bolts, nasa linya si Buenafe. He hit the first free throw. 4:54 remaining. And Buenafe playing quite well in this first half. 8 points, make that 9 para sa kanya. Some backcourt pressure from Weinstein. Mike Cortez. Speaks to Tuhugnatan, open from 15. Rebound Siegel. Siya na rin nagdala ng bola. Pinasa kay Weinstein, open from 3. He takes it. It's too strong. Rebound taken by Mario Weft. West on the run, makes his move. Good defense from Singletary. Ito na naman ang white shirts, but there are orange shirts on the defensive end. Siegel will challenge. The lefty layup doesn't go. Tapigan ng bola, John Wilson. Mario West was ahead, kaya naman final na lang siya ni Dorian Peña before Wilson could pass it ahead.
Not really much, not much touches na nakikita natin dito kay Singletary. He's actually the leading scorer for their team, being an import. Pero dito na, less touches I believe I have to double check on the number of attempts na itong si Singletary tinira so far. Apat pa lang attempt ni Singletary. Matatapos na halos 4 minutes left in the second period.
You think a guy who's scoring 36 points a game has to have more touches?
Well, he needs more touches if he wants to score in his average of 36 points.
Mike Cortez's jumper, that's a three-pointer from the Cool Cat. The lead is back to 10, 33 to 23. There's your Weinstein. To the basket, help defense from Wilson. He strips it away. Stops from 16. The jumper, he finishes. Ang ganda ng stop and pop nito si John Wilson.
Saka sa smart move, nakita niya na he's actually anchoring that fast break, the transition. Kita niya na wala masyadong dumidepensa sa kanya from 15 feet away. And napakadaling jump shot na yun for Wilson.
The last timeout, partner, itong offense ng Barako. Horrible sequence para sa kanila. Weinstein nowhere to go. Tapos, no picks being set for him to get around. And Buenafe now gets blocked on the second chance. Once again, wala yan. Ito ang Meralco. John Wilson picks it up. Ito si West. West will challenge Intal. Mario, pupunta na naman sa linya para sa dalawang free throws at 3:04 mark ng ating second quarter.
That's what I call airtight defense, Charlie. Grabe yung dinidepensa dito ng Meralco. Wala akong makikitang wide open shot for Barako.
At si Risa Diaz may kwento tukol dito kay Mario West.
Charlie, sabi ni Mario West, playoffs time is when the boys are separated from the men daw. He's very confident that they are actually a vault higher. Ang goal nila is to get it done in one or one and done. Either way, ang gusto lang niya sabihin siguro nun, kung anong pwedeng gawin ngayon, hindi na nila ipagpapabukas pa. Charlie.
Well, siyempre, you don't want to put yourself in a situation na
mahirap
pag ma-all-out ka, out ka. Ikaw naman na ma-out.
Pwede ka ma-champan to sa game number 2. That's why they want to make sure with this ball game, they want to really come out early. And not to really give any chances anymore to the Raptors.
Intal, the drive, the one-hander doesn't go, and Mike Cortez soars for that rebound. Bigay na kay Mario West. Mario West, attack mode. Eludes the defense, dances into the lane, gets the basket. Ang ganda naman nun.
Ibang klaseng footwork yung nakikita. He dribbles so well already, and yet he has that hop, skip, and jump move na actually nawala talaga yung depensa.
Timeout ng Barako Bull Energy. They're trailing already by 16 points, 39 to 23. Masusubaybayan na ang PBA sa Action TV International sa Middle East via Orbit Showtime Network, sa Europe via OSN TV tomorrow at sa Guam via MCV Broadband. Sabihin na nyo na ang inyong mga kamag-anak na abangan ang action na labanan ng PBA at saka ng UFL sa Action TV International. Nick Pinisi may tangan ng bola para sa Barako, which is trailing by 16 points. Offense in disarray, Eric, and they gotta find someone they can go to the score. If Singletary is not up to the task in this ball game, somebody's gotta step up. Sinusubukan ni Ron J. Buenafe na maging yung tao na yon to bring the offense. Now he's back at the line. Ito yung drive a while ago. Ang ganda ng galaw ni Mario West. A Photon Thunder drive brought to us by Photon. Empower your business. Buenafe with a chance to break into double digits. Ayan na nga, pasok yung kanyang free throw. So 10 points for Ron J. Buenafe. Lead is still at 15, however, for the Meralco Bolts. And Meralco is not scoring heavily, partner. Pero ang Barako Bull naman, nasa stifle nila with their good defense. So they're content with not scoring too much as long as Barako is just time. 2 minutes remaining here in the first half. Mula kay Cliff Hodge. Once again, Cortez free, takes a three. Tabaraki, pasok yan! Para kay Cool Cat, his second three of this ball game. He's got 6 points.
Frankie Lim again, balikan natin yung pag-usapan nila ni Miko. He's expecting this guy to really explode tonight, and itong si Mike Cortez is actually doing so well here in the second period.
Well, they're exploiting the point guard position advantage that they have, partner, kasi wala na si Evan Montfort, wala si Jonas Villanueva. You've got Sean Weinstein and takes this three and misses, at ito namang si Serena Cruz who hasn't been playing well. Cliff Hodge wants to slam it. Umiwas at depensa ni Sean Weinstein but laid it in gently instead. Hindi na pinilit yung dunk. 2 points nevertheless. 19-point bubble para dito sa Meralco Bolts, just extending this lead slowly here in the second quarter. Barako has been held to just 10 points in the second quarter. 23 points of their own para sa Meralco Bolts. Gusto pa nilang dagdagan yan. Good defense again para sa kanila. John Wilson, siya naman ang sasayaw. At 3-point play, dapat nullified. Offensive foul, sabi ng ating baseline referee. At ito si John Wilson, parang hinayang na hinayang sa nangyari dun sa play na yon.
Pero good stop to nang ginawa dun ni Sean Weinstein. Inabangan na lang niya talaga si John Wilson. He had him in front of him and he just stood his ground right there. Inabangan niya yung side step at hindi na nakaiwas dun si Wilson.
Well, good sacrifice on the part of Sean Weinstein to absorb that contact para sa kanyang kapunan. Penisi. Balik kay Weinstein. And you can see si Weinstein talagang exerting all the effort he can to try to run the offense. Nahihirapan lang talaga siya. And Mike Singletary really out of sync. Naghahanap ng foul on that play. Throws up his arms in disgust. And something happened on this end, on the other end rather. Nakahiga rito si Cool Cat.
Tinamaan siya ng siko doon ni Singletary. Pero grabe, let's get back to that defense of Barako. Singletary, naiwasan niya off that two-man game, high screen and roll with Pinisi. Okay, nalisutan niya si Mario West, pero kita mo, ilan yung sumasalo doon. Diba? And actually, pinansalo na nga ni Mike Cortez. Yung nasalo niya, yung siko ni Singletary, that was a hard hit on the face.
That's a direct hit. Clean shot to the face, and ito si Cortez, kumbaga kung boxing ito, counted out na siya.
A hard hit right there. Hopefully, Mike Cortez is not seriously injured.
And nakita natin yung concern ng buong koponan ng Meralco going over there to check. And of course, Ryan Gregorio, tinawag sila lahat, taking advantage of his opportunity to give instructions to the rest of the guys. And it's good to see Cortez up on his feet, but that was a very strong hit, and he'll go straight to the dugout with 28.9 seconds remaining. They'll attend to that blow that he suffered. So for the next 28.9, the last 28.9 ng first half, wala muna si Mike Cortez para sa Meralco Bolts. Chris Ross, of course, more than willing to fill that slot at the point para sa kanila.
Nakita natin, ang lakas talaga nung pagkakatama kay Mark Cortez, no?
Grabe yung ginawa ng Meralco Bolts, Eric, dito sa second quarter. They've been able to stretch that lead slowly, just piling up the points. Easy baskets, sabagat they limit Barako to just one basket, then they run the other way attacking. You had Mario West, you had Mac Cardona, he had John Wilson. Sunod-sunod na ang pag-atake nila. They got a string of baskets together to spread this game, to break this game open.
You know, Barako really has to regroup. They just have to keep their composure, their focus in this game. Meralco will really force you into their trap, which means, okay, sige, go one-on-one on top, go kahit mag-high screen roll kayo, our defenses, parang ano sila inaabangan lang nila yung penetration dito ng Barako, and basically, this is really what happens because they are collapsing in the shaded area.
But for the stat-hungry fans watching, 1 out of 20 ang field goal shooting ng Barako. 5%. A lone 3-pointer mula kay Weinstein. Yun lang ang napasok nila dito sa ating second quarter so far. 4 seconds to go. Sean Weinstein wants to finish. He gets fouled with a second remaining. So pupunta siya sa linya. And good idea on the part of Sean Weinstein na atakihin na habang hindi pa nakaset up ang depensa ng Meralco. And he drew the foul. Overshot the layup, however, but he'll get 2 from the line.
Well, he's bringing the energy, and this is something that Weinstein can do to help his team.
Hits the first free throw. That's his 4th point of the game. Itong si Sean Weinstein thrust into the starting point guard spot dahil nga sa mga injuries sa ibang mga lead guards sa kanila. Ross with a second to go. Heaves it from half court. And that misses. And what a performance itong second quarter. Out quarter para sa Meralco Bulls. Started by this guy Dillinger. Coming into the PBA after 5 months off, hits the basket. Mac Cardona as well scoring heavily sa ating second quarter. And of course, si Mario West waltzing into the lane para sa magandang layup na yun. Good run from the Bulls. They're up.
On Mike Cortez because kaya naman niya nakuha yung siko ni Singletaros because of that defense. Again, sinabi nga ni Coach Ryan, everything will all depend on their defense. Bakit tayo? Nandito na tayo sa playoff period. Kaya nga napaka-importante na talaga ang defense. Everyone would have to bring up their defense a notch higher in every game that they play.
At kita natin yung depensa, hindi nila mapuntahan si Mike Singletary. Cliff Hodge playing great defense. Kaya nakasil na si Mick Pinisi, but he misses the layup, partner. Ang ganda na ng pihit niya. And on the strong side, left-handed siya. Pero nagmintis yun. Ito si Mario West naman. Parang ang dali ng buhay, ano?
Yes, well, you know, on the positive side, ito si Mick Pinisi was still able to get good position. They were able to get him that basketball deep under the basket. So that's still something positive that Barako can go after. On the other hand, ito naman Meralco, you know, once Mario West gets into the break and going for that layup, he's actually very hard to stop.
Keith Jensen, ayan, dumiskarte na siya. You know, Keith Jensen, when he caught that ball, kita natin, he had an eye to the basket. Parang gusto niya nang subukan yung depensa, and he was able to get that. Mukhang nagulat din yung defender niya on that drive.
You know, the key to beating Meralco is not only an 0-1 pass, 1 attempt game. It has to be a lot. You have to be really patient. You have to milk your shot clock, try to get a nice open shot. Kagaya na dito, John Wilson basket underneath for a nice layup by Hugnatan with 10 points already in the game.
Unsung hero itong si John Wilson. I'd like to say para sa komperensyang ito for Coach Ryan Gregorio. Came in, joined this lineup, and has really produced in many different ways. As we see, Weinstein's layup doesn't go para sa Barako Bull. Tuloy pa rin yung sinasabi mo kanina pa, hindi man lang nahawakan ni Mike Singletary ang bola on the offensive end para sa Barako Bull. It's been Buenafe, it was Keith Jensen, Benisi, and then now Weinstein on the drive. And with about 3 minutes gone by here in the third quarter, Singletary, wala pa.
You know, I haven't really seen any basket yet. Singletary still struggling and not really getting that many touches here in the third.
Meron naman tayong kwento mula kay Riza tungkol kay Raynel Hugnatan. Riza?
Charlie, kung hindi daw fouled out, graduate out foul trouble itong si Raynel Hugnatan in their past 2 games. Kaya sabi niya, in this game, sana daw nanawa ng pito sa kanya because all he wants to do is to play defense. Ngayong pahiyang, hindi siya nag-headband dahil nawawala daw yung kanyang headband. Instead, nag-ponytail siya at sana magdala nga daw ito ng swerte. Charlie?
Hindi nga ponytail, big tails nga. Dalawa, cute na cute nga yung forma ni Raynel Hugnatan. May nag-tweet nga, pinakita nila Miko. Ang cute daw ng hairstyle ni Raynel Hugnatan. Parang ang laking baby damulag daw yung dalag di ba?
You know, yung game nila versus San Mig Coffee nung natalo ang Meralco Bulls, maaga nag-foul trouble si Hugnatan. That's the reason why he couldn't really play most of the time. Key players Hugnatan for the Meralco Bulls, especially on the post.
Hugnatan already in double digits. He's averaging double digits, almost a double-double. Just under 10 rebounds para sa kanya, more than 10 points. Singletary to Siegel. He takes the 3. Pasok yan para kay Danny Siegel. You know, you just gotta keep moving, gotta keep playing. 8 minutes remaining here in the third, a full 12 minutes in the fourth quarter. You gotta chip away at that lead.
You know, this is only 16 points and 7 minutes and 50 seconds left in the third. Ang dami pang oras eh. You can just set a target, you know, at least down by 10 at the start of the fourth. Maganda-ganda na yan for Barako.
But you gotta lock down on the defensive end, di ba? Hindi naman pwedeng palitan ng basket. And Reynald Hugnatan, ang ganda na naman ng pihit. And on his strong side, using the left hand, ito si Reynald. Sabagay, Reynald naman pag nasa poste, kailiwat kanan yan. It doesn't matter. Singletary. Hindi makalibre talaga. And the push, slight bump mula kay John Wilson.
Daming ang dumi na depensa. Charlie, sorry about that. Makikita mo, from Wilson to even nagkakapalit-palit na nga ng defensive assignment dito kay Singletary, and yet talaga nahihirapan talaga siya to make a basket.
Dave Marcelo, nice feed to Jensen, pero hindi na kompleto ni Keith yung play na yon. Mario West naman on the way up. Good defense from Dave Marcelo. They prevent that shot. Jensen is running. The bounce over to Buronje Buenafef. Steps back for 3. Pasok yan, back-to-back threes para sa Barako Bull. Lead is down to 15 with lots of time remaining. Tingnan natin kung makakahabol pa ang Barako. They need to dig deep, partner, to try to come back here in the third.
Well, I see a lot more energy for Barako in this quarter alone, especially with this 5 on the floor.
Cliff Hodge sets his feet for 3. Binawi naman. Ito si Cliff Hodge, and you know, tit for tat. And Meralco is very happy just to trade baskets. Okay lang sa kanila kasi malaki na lamang nila.
Meron na silang, meron ng allowance eh, di ba? Kung magkamali man sila, there's room for error. Hindi masyadong pressure.
Singletary's 3-point attempt. Air ball yun para kay Mike Singletary. He's only got 4 points in this ball game. At sabi nga natin, 36 points a game. You've only got 4. We're almost halfway through the third quarter. He doesn't have to reach his average, but he's got to start putting points on the board para sa kanyang papunan. Pass inside to Hugnatan. It's stolen. Ito si Singletary. Mario West gets in front of him. He'll try to force it all the way. Bitin ang kanyang layup. Defensive rebound. Who's gonna get it? No. Siegel tried, but Cardona wins it out. He'll challenge Dave Marcelo. Wow. Swung it away by Dave Marcelo, denying Captain Hook. At masama dun, bagsak pa si Mac Cardona, but he gets up right away. And Dave Marcelo, good defensive stance from the rookie. Let's call that our Preftone defensive stop of the game, brought to us by Preftone Brake Fluid for superior braking action and safety. Siguradong nasa mabuti kang kamay.
That's something that Dave Marcelo is actually known for, especially in his days in San Beda and even in the D-League.
But the ball stayed with Meralco. Yun, nagbintis nga lang ito si Cliff Hodge on the turnaround J. Singletary once again, the much smaller Chris Roth na sa kanya, but he picks up the dribble. Goes to Dave Marcelo, goes baseline. Strong move from the rookie. Chance for the 3-point play.
Ganda ng pagkakapasok ni Dave Marcelo. He didn't play in the first half. Kita mo, because of that block, it actually gave him that opportunity to power himself in the basket. So again, everything starts on defense.
Good play from the rookie. 3-point opportunity. Pagbalik, he'll take his free throw. Ito si Dave Marcelo. Para sa Meralco, I think it's Reynald Hugnatan. He's just a steady guy. On defense, on offense, he can do almost everything para sa kanila.
You know, consistency is really the name of the game, and Hugnatan is really a picture of consistency in every game that he plays. 12 points already, 5 rebounds. And he's a silent operator, no? Hindi, not really fancy, pero kung papanurin mo talaga siya mabuti, it's really his footwork. That actually is his advantage in his game.
Fundamentally sound, can throw a good pass as well. Mintis yung free throw ni Dave Marcelo, unable to complete the 3-point play. At ngayon, siya naman ang dumidepensa kay Reynald Hugnatan. Hugnatan wants to challenge. He's gone to this move several times. And once again, ganun pa rin ang resulta, partner. 2 points.
You know, it's really, actually, ang ganda na ng depensa doon ni Dave Marcelo. He kept him in front. Nahirapan na si Hugnatan. But again, that pivot move by Hugnatan actually was able to free him up from the tough defense by Marcelo.
Sometimes I wonder kung bakit Reynald Hugnatan is not spoken of with the other superstars in this league. Kasi nandun, nasa level siya na ganun eh. But they don't talk about him. He's not flashy. Doesn't bring that flair.
But the stats, you know, his stats speaks for itself. Not really fancy shot. Wala namang mga dunk-dunk si Hugnatan, you know, when he was playing for Meralco. But grabe naman yung pinapakit yung statistic.
3-pointer mula kay Kim Jensen. He pops his 5th. Happy about that shot. Lead is down to 15. 60-45. 4 minutes and a half remaining dito sa ating third quarter. Lots of basketball still to play. At nabanggit mo during the timeout, Eric, first time they met this conference, Meralco was up in double digits, big in the second half. Hinabol lang Barako to win by 1 point, 90-89. So, hey, who knows? It might be deja vu all over again.
You'll never know.
Kanila.
That's why nakakatakot pa dyan. Singletary only has 2 points in the game. If he explodes and he's capable of exploding, then this is going to be a different ballgame.
3 from Buenaventura. That's short. Who's gonna get it? Wala na nakahabol doon. It goes the other way. Balik sa naka-orange with 4:01 remaining. Sunday Salvacion will come into the ball game. Cliff Hodge will rest. Tingnan natin. But of course, Meralco, you know, they've been playing well and they know depensa. Yan ang kailangan nilang gawin. So, you know, they've slackened off a bit, allowing some 3-pointers. They know what to do.
Well, they have to, Barako has to throw it back. You know, Meralco's actually number 1 on defense so far after 9 games before coming into this game. Barako just has to throw it back to them. And rather than being malulungkot sila because of what happened in the first half, dapat they should just up their energy on defense and get something easy out of that.
First 2 points ni Cardona dito sa ating second half. Marcelo is inside the shaded area. Good block! Mula kay Hugnatan, the hesitation on the part of Marcelo cost them. And ito naman si West, no hesitation on the other end. Hindi pumasok ang tira. And si Singletary screaming, barking at the referees. He might get a warning after that outburst, partner.
Kasi napo-frustrated na si Singletary. He's really working, trying his best. Pero yun na lang, he just couldn't get going. On the other hand naman, of course, when Mario West goes to the basket, it's actually very hard to stop. Kailangan mababasa nila yung mga move ni Mario West because every time he drives to the basket, he loves to put that ball in front of the defender. And yun nga, doon niya tinataas yung kanyang elbow kaya medyo delikado nga pag nandun sa kanyang harapan at pwede kang ma-accident at matamaan.
18-point lead para sa Meralco. You know, it was down to 15 just a while ago pero some fouls given up. 18 points para kay Mario. Tingnan natin kung anong magagawa nitong Barako Bull before the end of this third quarter to try to inch a bit closer para may mas magandang chance sila sa fourth quarter na makahabol. 3 ni Danny Siegel doesn't go. Mario West tumatakbo na naman. Relentless talagang atake ng Meralco Bulls. They kick it out to Sunday. Free from 3 but he misses. But gets his own rebound once again. So may chance na naman. May oportunidad na naman ng Meralco to put some points on the board, and they're just playing the ball game simply, basically. Ganda ng resulta so far. Hugnatan's move. Uy, gwapo sana nung kung pumasok. And he gets it right back against 3 white shirts, Eric. And, Mario West hits the deck. Sumabit ang kanyang paa kay Danny Siegel. He's asking where was the foul. Well, I think downstairs. Si Mike ang
Tawagan ng foul.
Timeout Barako Bull Energy. They're trailing by 18 with 2:41 remaining dito sa ating third quarter. Mula sa masarap, malaman, mura at convenient kasi easy to open Ulalam. Ready to eat ulam para sa masa. Mahal ng masa. Ulalam. 15 pesos lang. Enjoying themselves yung mga fans dito. Tumitrip dun sa tabi ng court. Pero itong Meralco, you know, we have to keep talking about their defense. Only 45 points para sa Barako Bull, partner. Only 2 minutes 41 remaining in the third. So, we were talking about it na depensa nga magiging focus ng Meralco. And true enough, that's what's happening in this game.
You know what, Charlie? Meralco actually, yung they limit their opponents to low 80s, you know, at the end of every game. Yun yung kanilang average. And right now, unless a big explosion happens with Barako and in the next 2.5 minutes of the third and the fourth quarter, then that's the only time talaga na mabibigyan ng pag-asa ang Barako in this game. They really have to come up with a string of baskets to really bring the gap closer.
Yun naman si Danny Siegel to the basket, got the foul, chance for a 3-point play. You know, they're scoring pretty well here. They have 20 points already here in the third quarter. Maganda-ganda na yan para sa kanila compared to the 12 points they scored nung second quarter. Pero yung problema dyan, Eric, is on the other end, napapabayaan naman nila na makascore yung Meralco almost every time down.
Kasi kumbaga meron ng plus itong Meralco. Look at that defense by J.R. Reyes. You know, nakakuha ng offensive rebound si Marcelo.
Mario West, natamaan pa yata sa mukha, but he's okay. Shakes it off. Siegel, inside the shaded area, creates some space. Ang basket niya, wala yan. Rebound, Kriffroff, tumatakbo. Tough, nakita niya, puro white shirts na nandun. The bounce to Cardona, anticipated by Macapagal. Ito na white shirts running the other way. Approaching 2 minutes here in the third quarter. The kick to Macapagal. To Jensen. Jensen, jumper, 18 feet. Pasok yan for Jensen. This guy's got 5 points in the game. Make that 7.
Maganda nilaro ni Keith Jensen. Actually, one of the guys with playing with a lot of energy and a lot of heart. Laban lang siya, against whoever is assigned to him. Right now, it's Mario West. He's really playing Mario West really tough.
Team sila ang lamang nitong Meralco Bolts. Mario West gustong dagdagan yan, pero good challenge. Here they come again, ang Barako. On that switch, there was a foul. Pangalawa ni Mario West. Foul na yan. Dillinger comes back in to sit Mario West for the last 1:24 of this third quarter. So chance to break Dillinger into that rotation once again. Singletary. Off balance. Foul is called. Pupunta sa linya ito si Mike Singletary para sa dalawang free throw. And remember, Singletary, only 4 points in this game. And if you've been following Singletary throughout the conference,
36 points average, ha? Talagang malayo-layo pa yung hahabulin ni Singletary. But like I said, Charlie, balikan natin yung game nila in the elimination round. Malaki na ang kalamangan ng Meralco Bolts in that game. And yet, nakahabol pa itong team ng Barako.
Commissioner Attorney Chito Salud, of course, together with Willie Marshall. Head ng media bureau natin dito sa PBA. Observing the goings-on dito sa ating laro. Unang laro ng ating quarterfinal phase ng Governor's Cup. Cardona steps back for 3. And yun na sinasabi ko, partner Diba? You cut the lead down to 13, but you allow another 3-point shot from Mac, who's got 12 points in the ball game.
Consistency for Mac Cardona has been contributing every time he's on the floor.
Gustong bumawi ni Macapagal. Pushes off. Jumper doesn't go. Dillinger, another rebound. He'll bring it up. Goes behind his back. Ball is stolen by Singletary. He's on the run. Gets the contact mula dito kay Chris Ross. At pupunta sa linya itong si Singletary para sa dalawang free throws once again. Mike Singletary. Sabi mo nga kanina, may frustration ang pinakikita ng second quarter because the ball wasn't even passing through his hands on their offensives. Itong Barako Energy went into the dugout, partner, just 2 points at the half. Now he's got 7, make that 8 on that free throw.
Well, he's making headway. At least makikita mo naman is going to the basket trying to draw those fouls. And one way to get your confidence going is just to get to the free throw line.
14-point lead, Meralco. Chris Ross, baseline, kicks it out. Sunday Salvason tumira ng 3 mula sa kanan. Wala yan. Rebound, Chris Ross. Ang nauna doon sa pagpunta doon sa bola. Out-hustling the white shirts. 10 seconds to go. Ross makes his move. Import ang kalaban. Wanted to drop it over to JRA. As a second to go, Dillinger knows it. He'll take it from 3. Masyado malakas ang tira ni Jared. At ito sa third quarter, a little headway we thought, mula rito sa Barako Bull. But that's still a 14-point lead at the end of 3 quarters. Hugnatan doing his stuff. Keith Jensen tried to keep his team alive with 7 points here in the third quarter. Ngunit sa pagtatapos ng ating third quarter, lamang pa rin ang Meralco, 14 points, 67-50.